This is James Mathers for the Digital Cinema Society at NAB 2025. I'm here at OWC with Loren. He's going to tell us about some new things, developments with Jellyfish.
Indeed. Hi, James. Thanks for stopping by the booth. I'm glad that we could talk a little bit about Jellyfish. So, as you know, OWC provides shared storage, direct attached storage for all the creatives from capture to collaboration and everywhere in between. So, where Jellyfish comes into play is once we take the cards and have the external hard drives, we need to put it somewhere where all the team members can access it at the same time, where the Jellyfish Nomad really comes into play on the portable side. So we can be traveling with it. We can even put it in a case, so we actually have a case. It's a laser cut case to where you put the Jellyfish Nomad inside, you strap it over your shoulder. It's 14 pounds, and the beauty of it is you don't have to actually hand it to TSA and say, hope and a prayer when you're traveling from, say, LA to New York before you set up in 5-10 minutes and you have 4 or 5 different video editors accessing the media all at the same time. And that ease of use, that performance, that reliability is what OWC is known for, and it translates naturally into the shared storage device, which is the Jellyfish we offer.
So it's on-prem, on location?
That's correct. And it also has remote capabilities. It also has the ability of tagging media. And we also have the ability of, say, for instance, if we are remote, we can tap into the Jellyfish remote and we can task the Jellyfish to transcode media to proxies. So that way I have a much better chance of pulling those proxy medias back on over to my apartment. If I happen to be sitting out front of a McDonald's and I need to make a quick edit, that's fine. It's possible to actually pull those proxies on over, but we can actually task the job and have the CPUs on the Jellyfish itself to transcode my ProRes 422 HQ, what have you, to ProRes proxy, and it's still an editable codec, but at the same time it's much smaller, and I can actually pull it to my local external hard drive. At that point, might be an Envoy Pro FX.
Where does it go from a small unit like this to a larger system?
So the Nomad, although it's a small form factor, it has up to 48 terabytes of available storage, or 64 raw. So there's built-in redundancy as everything comes pre-configured when the customer orders a Jellyfish and it arrives at their doorstep. So on the Jellyfish Nomad itself, one of the unique attributes is the fact that, for instance, if I had 48 terabytes on set and I am filming and I'm ingesting more and more media, and say, for instance, I'm putting it on an X12 or an X8 or a Thunderblade, and I want to take that and send it back on over to my HQ where I can then verify that it's been backed up before I clear off the Jellyfish Nomad. Well, it's taken too long, and we have more media to pop on this Nomad as we're continuing to film. So let's go ahead and take these U.2 shuttles out, and let's replace it with another spare pair right there. All my user permissions, everything stays the same. I have just now added another 48 terabytes of available storage. And now when they go ahead and say, yep, we got it back at the HQ thing, it's like, okay, great. Let's go ahead and clear off that. But I can actually have a spare pair at any given time. And that's the versatility of the Jellyfish Nomad. Being all NVMe flash gives us that capability. So the smallest capacity would be, say, 16 terabytes, but we have different models in the desktop line. And the desktop line is somewhat unique because not only can we connect up to 16 10-gig editors out of the back of a desktop device, and all of those video editors are 4K video editors, it has enough performance for all 16 of those video editors to be editing simultaneously, but the step-up process in a quiet device that doesn't need a network switch, that I have now an NVMe portable device, or I have a 2, 3, 4 person video editing device, or say, for instance, I need 360 terabytes or 480 terabytes of on-prem, super fast, very highly reliable shared storage that can sit right next to the video editors. And so that's where the Jellyfish Tower comes into play. Some of the newer devices that we've included would be more of the traditional rack devices. So if you have, say, a 30-person team or a 20-person team or even a 50 or 60-person team, I have larger devices, the R24 Jellyfish or the XT Jellyfish, and we've added a couple in there. So using all flash, the S24 gives us the additional throughput or additional bandwidth, if you will, so I can have image sequence files like EXR, DPX, or what have you, and I can have the performance for those individuals to be playing back. I could have more in a review process versus a composite workflow, and I still have enough performance for many other video editors to actually connect to that one device, even second-tiered storage. So I have super fast storage, and then I have a little slower storage. So maybe not everyone needs that super fast flash storage to actually be working from, and that's where we come into like a B24. And so the beauty of a Jellyfish is it scales easily. So if I start with, say, 576 terabytes in one 4U chassis, I can get up to 2.9 petabytes. And it just stacks on like Legos. That's the beauty of it. So I'm continuing to add 576 or 370 terabytes of available storage. So that's how I easily get up to 2.9 petabytes. And if I wanted to have a one-to-one backup device, that's where my economical storage comes into play. And that's where the B24 comes up. And so I can get to the one-to-one. So if I wanted to have 2.9 petabytes, I can do that in an R24 for all my high octane media, if you will. And then I can have that backup, that one-to-one. And with having direct integrations with, say, for instance, Arcaware, which is a really great company that we work with, having P5 directly included with that integration, you have the service, you pay for the service, and you have that directly integrated, and I can have that automation from my R24 2.9 petabytes into my B24 2.9 petabytes. So it's a really, really neat thing as it scales up from a little tiny Nomad all the way to the XT, if you like.
So it's a lot more than hardware. It's a lot of software controlling all this hardware.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. So as far as just hardware piece, that's where we have as far as performance, redundancy, reliability, ease of use. But the ease of use function, that factor right there, that's where a lot of the software comes into play. And it's a really good point. So there's a lot of different pieces of software that enable certain devices to actually work, and oftentimes there become paywalls that you have to get through. I want to have it to be easy. You got to pay for this thing. I want it to be a little easier. I got to pay for this thing. I want it to have a little bit more redundancy. I got to pay for this thing. What we try to do is include everything. So when you have a Jellyfish, you have all the included tools that you'd need. So for instance, if I wanted something like a Connect app, that's the really cool piece of software that goes and finds the port I'm connected to on the Jellyfish, and it finds the port I'm connected to on that MacBook Pro. And as a video editor, I don't have to put my IT hat on. I could just actually focus on the creative process, and that's what this whole thing is about, is giving time back. And the beauty of everything we have at OWC is essentially efficiency tools. We're giving time back in one way or another.
Love it. Thank you so much, Loren.
Thanks, James. Appreciate it.